We also created the billing import menu. If you're working with Modivcare and you're not using this, we made some enhancements with the MTM API as well. Lots of big changes for those of you in New York this year. So hopefully you guys are feeling those changes and life's getting a little bit easier after that adjustment that they made with their API. Hello, welcome to the Inside the Lamp 2024 review video series. I'm Jonathan Anthon, co-CEO at RouteGenie. In this video, we're going to be talking about some of the broker integrations, updates, and new integrations that we launched here in 2024. Make sure you're liking this video and subscribe or follow, depending on which platform you're checking this out on. We're going to go through a lot of really cool stuff that we did in 2024 to enhance some of our broker partnerships and integrations, as well as some new partnerships that we formed this year. Obviously, broker integrations are a big part of your business. Make sure that you have streamlined communication between your broker partners, streamlines the billing process, make sure that you're not missing trips, make sure that you're getting updates as needed. So it's really important to any NEMT company to have that streamlined, seamless communication between your software and your broker partners. So really important stuff. We're going to cover some really great content in this video. For our first episode today, we're going to be doing a review of what we accomplished in 2024, some of the really cool things we did, both with our product and as a company, and giving you a little bit of a preview of what we're going to be up to come 2025. So let's go ahead and get started and dive in here. Let's talk about some of the updates we made to our API integrations and some of our integration partners with brokers here, and some of the changes we've made, starting with Modivcare. So within Modivcare, we made a lot of changes to the API. They made some adjustments this year, which allowed for different reasons for no-show and cancel to be sent with them via the API. So we released that immediately on time for them to be able to get that information from you to make the cancel no-show process a little bit smoother when you have rides that do unfortunately cancel or no-show with Modivcare. We also created the billing import menu. If you're working with Modivcare and you're not using this is a big thing you're going to want to touch on. We'll give you a little demo here. But within the billing import menu, you can take your remittance file from Modivcare and actually upload it into RouteGenie to post the payments for your trips that you're getting from Modivcare. So you'll be able to easily see which trips you've been paid for, which trips you've been partially paid for, and those that haven't been paid yet. So you know exactly what's owed to make sure that you're getting every penny that you're owed for all the work that you're doing. So that's very, very important if you're not using that. Again, we'll give you a quick demo, or you can reach out to our support team to get some help with that. We also created a threshold setting. It used to be that anytime Modivcare sent an update to a trip, it would go ahead and unassign the trip from the vehicle because a change was made. It might be a different place, might be a different time. We put in some threshold settings, so if the change to the trip is minor, it will not unassign it from the vehicle and leave it on the route. We'll ignore that change essentially if it's a minor change and leave the trip as is. And you get to decide how many minutes the trip can change for you to ignore it. So that allowed you to not have to worry about Modivcare sending you updates in the middle of the day and trips falling off of vehicles and falling off of their route. We made a couple of other small enhancements too. So things like adding the attested status, just so you can see whether or not you've sent a trip for a batch yet or not. We did some improvements to our webhook strategy to speed up billing and make things a little more efficient when it comes to billing. We also made some enhancements to improve signature transfers, where we're making sure that signatures are transferring more quickly and more often via the API with Modivcare. So a lot of huge enhancements to the Modivcare API, and watch our releases for the next few weeks. Early in the year, you're going to see some other really big stuff with the Modivcare API. Now MTM, we made some enhancements with the MTM API as well. They also made an update to their API where they could actually ready will calls via the API. So if someone calls in, one of your passengers calls into MTM to let them know that they're ready for the will call, they can actually send that update and give you an update to say, hey, this person's ready with the time, instead of them having to call you directly. So that minimizes the number of calls coming into your office potentially. So that's a really big change. We also made some improvements to essentially prevent webhooks from going missing. There would be times where, because your vehicle wasn't necessarily arriving on scene where MTM wanted you to arrive or gave us in terms of the GPS coordinates, that you wouldn't get the webhook saying you've arrived. We made some enhancements to make sure that they're getting an arrival webhook no matter what. As long as you load that passenger, we would send them where you loaded the passenger, even if you didn't hit the spot that they thought you should be going to. Now, so some cool stuff with MTM. Moving on to MAS. Lots of big changes for those of you in New York this year. A lot of you probably had a lot of adjustments to make. And we were right along there with you, making some big adjustments to the API to make that work. Now that you're required to send GPS coordinates with every single trip in order to get that trip attested so you can get paid. So we made a lot of adjustments there. Things like putting in rules that forced you to have a driver or vehicle synced with the MAS portal, because if you didn't have the driver or vehicle synced, the GPS coordinates wouldn't go over. We put in a tool where you can send those GPS coordinates after the fact. So if something happened that they didn't get synced via the API with MAS for some reason, you could go back and resend them so they could get those coordinates so you could get paid. We made all those changes and then a whole bunch more regarding the new rules with MAS to make your life a lot easier. So hopefully you guys are feeling those changes and life's getting a little bit easier after that adjustment that they made with their API. Let's talk about MART and GATRA for the folks up in Massachusetts. So MART and GATRA are two brokers local to the New England area. We made a couple really big upgrades to that API. One was that we can import standing orders, which is a little bit unique. So instead of reporting one trip at a time on their portal, they can give you, hey, this person's going every Monday, Wednesday, Friday for the next 6 months. We'll import that as a standing order for you rather than one trip at a time, which gives you some really cool functionality with the standing order features. We also made a change to filter that you could do accepted or unaccepted trips coming in via your integration with MART and GATRA. That allows you to essentially see those trips in RouteGenie before you decide you want to accept or reject them, or if you prefer to accept or reject them first and then have them go to RouteGenie, you can have that workflow as well. So you have a couple options in terms of how you want to do that based on how you run your business. So lots of big changes to our integration partners. We also added a whole bunch of integration partners, which is really exciting. So most recently, we actually integrated with Momentm, formerly known as TripSpark, which allows us to work with CTS. They're used to be mostly New England area, but now they're kind of spreading throughout the country. So really awesome brokers. So check them out if you're not working with them, CTS. Call the Car out in California. We have that integration go live this year. Movi, which is a really cool product that works all over the country. Awesome integration partners there that we've added. ScadGo and then Trapeze as well. Trapeze, for those of you that are doing microtransit or transit type work, you'll be doing a lot with Trapeze possibly. So we have that integration now available too. So lots of changes to our integration partners. And again, watch out for some good news in 2025, some really big changes happening, especially on the Modivcare API, and some really big announcements coming in terms of a couple new integration partners that you'll be able to hear about pretty soon. And you should see integrations live for that many of you have been asking for. So we're really excited to tell you more about that later on in the year. So some awesome stuff that we did in 2024 when it comes to broker integrations. Make sure you check out our other 2024 recap videos on our new broker software. So we have the broker integrations. We also actually have a software for brokers now. We did some major enhancements to some of the day-to-day NEMT operations within your software. Some cool stuff when it comes to templates and reporting. We had some really good stuff with the driver app. So make sure you check that out. And again, make sure you like this video and subscribe so you check out more of our content, and check out the 2025 preview videos coming out too. We have some really exciting stuff coming with broker integrations. And if there are some other broker integrations or enhancements you want to see in our integrations, make sure you comment on this video, let us know. Talk to you soon. Ready? Born ready.
Go. It's okay. Anyways,
Forgot.
operations.